Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 3, Episode 7, titled Deal or No Deal. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of the Black Abstract. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the channel. If you are new to my channel, I urge you to like, subscribe, and welcome. This is the top WTF moments of this episode, and boy, was it a good one. First of all, we got to say right off the bat, it started off with some gun busting. And listen, let me tell you, if I'm almost down to my last breath, one thing I'm not doing, I ain't texting Kane. I'm texting my mama, my daughter, whoever. Sorry, I love y'all. Bye. I'm not texting Kane. The Russians got the drop on us. Oh, fuck. Like, what the? I'm like, yo, what's going on here with the fake blood? I'm like, yo, that was crazy to me. Still entertaining, but that was just like, yo, why is he texting Kane? Like, Kane don't give a fuck, nigga. You about to die. So we see the Russians have been applying force on the whole Tejada movement, behind the behind Braden killing one of theirs. It's just been crazy. They shot up Lorenzo's funeral, and I said this too. I said this on my last review video. How nobody gave a fuck about Lorenzo. The only one who seemed like they were emotionally affected was Drew, and we saw that in this episode as well. And we'll get to that. So we see everything's going on. Monet is trying to figure out a way to stop everything from happening. She calls a meeting with Kane and Drew to see what's going on. She's trying to meet with actually somebody who else is involved. And old boy played on, I'm trying to think. He wasn't The Wire he played on. It was another show that came out before The Wire. I think it was called The Corner. That was the guy from it. And you see he has a crush on Monet. Drew walks in and is like, yo, I thought you said you didn't want to help us. And they about to get into it. And you see he's trying to pop Monet. He ain't thinking about nothing she's saying. But we saw at the end where her whole play was. It was just a setup to kind of pin her up. And, man, I'm going to say this. I said this on Twitter, too. You can follow me on Twitter, too, The Black Abstract. Monet is the worst. She's the worst mom ever in history. Like, period. Point blank, period. It's nothing else. We see Monet calls a meeting with everybody to try to figure out solutions for this. They took all their product off the streets. They're moving everything solely through Weston Holdings, but they need to be on the corners because she doesn't want the Russians to invade on their territory. Tariq is obviously preoccupied with what's going on. He's mad at Kane. Obviously, he can't do nothing to Kane. So Monet's like, yo, what's his problem? Kane like, oh, he's mad that we clipped his girlfriend, et cetera, et cetera. So they kick him out, and she's like, yo, you my thinker. Come on with a plan. And that was the clip that got released where we see Tariq meets with Tate and had Tate set up a bus to take down the Russians' supply, so that would dead them in the water. So while their product is down, that gives them a little more freedom to kind of do whatever they want. We see Braden and Tariq are still on bad terms. Effie and Tariq are still on bad terms. He goes to meet with Effie to actually talk to her about the picture, but we don't know he's secretly recording her. And, she admits on tape that, she was the one who tried to kill Lauren because Tariq was too weak to, and he does this to gain Lauren's trust back, which we saw at the end of the episode that it actually wound up working. And let me say this. I'm going to say this now because there was some debates, I remember the first season, out of Effie, Lauren, and Diana who looked the best. And by far, I gotta say, Lauren is smoking them. Lauren is she's beautiful. They're all pretty girls, but Lauren is she just got that look to her, man. She's a very pretty girl. I will say that. She's smoking them right now. Secondly, Lauren just ain't got the body. So I would take Lauren's face, and then I probably would take Diana's body. That's just my thing. And I like Diana's skin tone too as well. But so anyway, we see that Braden is popping on girl, and she winds up finding out that they're actually running drugs through the company, which we knew already from the last episode. We didn't see Norma at all this episode, which was kind of a good thing because that just would have been too much on their plate. But it's funny that she don't pop up when it's time for the action. Like, we got a war out here. You can't send some henchmen to get this over with. I guess they kind of like, that ain't our business. Just move the product for us. So I'm like, that's convenient for them. And before I watched this episode, I saw a tweet that said Norma met her match. So I'm like, oh, did she? What's the name? Did she wind up meeting her match for real? And I'm thinking maybe she met Norma, but that wasn't the case. We also see that Drew goes to meet with his boyfriend's brothers, and they don't want a war at all. So they're talking about they're not helping the Tejadas, but obviously his boyfriend is like, yo, we gotta help them. We said we were gonna ride with them, and they take into a vote. In order to help them, they need a better deal on the work. Drew brings this back to Monet, and it is what it is at that point. The only one who was cool, calm, and collective out of Tejadas that I like is fucking Kane. I was just like, yo, he was. It's crazy how his story arc is just one of the best. He's smart, he's thinking, he's calculated. He's just not this wild guy like he was in the first season. And I'm like, okay, that's dope. And we also seen that Monet is starting to put more trust in Kane as well, because he came and saved her after she's about to get her ass whooped or killed by old boy. So, Kane stepping it up to the plate. We see that Saxe and Davis have a plan to get his brother out, which they wind up doing, and they wind up bribing one of the jurors, and it winds up working. And then, this nappy head new got out and was unthankful. He was sitting in the interrogation, and they were trying to go over, how he would go to the bail hearing and what he would say. And he was like, yeah, I pray when I'm taking a shit. I just wish Redman would have stayed this character, because this guy they got, he act like he don't want to be in a role. And I think next episode he probably going to lose his life or something. But he gets out and he's just like, I did all this. Now my life has no meaning. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You could risk going to jail now. I'm like, yo, just be happy your ass got some freedom. He probably had a boyfriend in there. That's what I'm thinking. That's the only time niggas is mad when they get out. They got a boyfriend in there, and they probably got a whole family situation going on there. I'm like, yo, nigga, just be happy you out. Just take me to the rehab facility and don't call me no more. I'm like, you ungrateful ass nigga. I'm like, what's going on? Tariq learns that they have a RICO case being built against them. That's from gaining Lauren's trust, and also that Saxe is actually a mole. So that's going to be interesting to see next episode. I don't think Saxe is going to make it out this season, but we've seen him wither his way out of slippery situations that were more than this. So I'm like, we'll see. Braden sees that Braden is trying to fix the servers at Westing Holdings, and when he's there, he sees a guy bringing out some shredded paper. He goes upstairs to a secret room, finds some books, and we find out that Westing Holdings is actually a Ponzi scheme. And they bring in investors to make it look good and cover it up so you can't really tell. So we don't know how this is going to go with RSJ in the future, but Braden is just like, yo, what the fuck? But his uncle tells him, like, listen, if you say something, this will ruin your family forever, and, you guys will be done with. They're doing this to just... I'm not too sure, I'm not too sure exactly what the context of what they do, but it's something the Ponzi scheme is to keep the regular day-to-day operations going pretty much. And Braden didn't like that. And he also didn't like the fact he got betrayed by his girlfriend, so he's upset about that. I'm like, Braden, you got to let it go. She was like, well, now we can be honest with each other. I'm like, yo... Braden is big on trust, but he's untrustworthy himself. We see that Hotep Salim goes on stage, and we see Quincy is in power now, Puff Daddy's son. I'm like, yo, what is he doing in here? Like, what's going on? I wonder how Diddy feel about that, being the history with him at 50. He probably don't care, but, who knows? But anyways, he goes on stage, and, Quincy's like, yo, you sure you want to do this? He's like, yeah. So he do some raggedy-ass poem, and says and calls out Diana. He follows the Chris Brown. Remember when Chris Brown said, you want me to say your name, don't you? Karuchi. And he says her name, and dude, she just walks away like, yo, get the fuck out of here. So he chases after her. Did you know what I did for you? And, she winds up slapping him, and, he winds up just saying some foul shit. Oh, you fucking Tariq. And I said this on Twitter. Listen, if a girl tells you don't worry about who I'm fucking. That means she fucking somebody else and she hopping on some wood, and that shit hurt. I'm telling you right now. I had a girl tell me that before, like, it's none of your bit. I'm like, nigga, what? We was just fucking last week. Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, so that shit hurt. He was just like, oh, you wanna fuck with low life pieces of shit, blah blah blah. In a turn of events, we see Diana starting to become more and more into her. She's becoming her parents or so. She's becoming the embodiment of who her family is. So instead of having her family step in, she decides to handle this on her own, and she does like a Monet Tejada type thing. She finds evidence of who he really is. His real name is, I think she said Kevin or something. And, this dude is actually, comes from a wealthy background. He got adopted by a white family. he was horseback riding. He had a trust fund, I think like 50,000. So he's good. And he just created this persona to kind of, I guess, be more likable or more relatable. And she says she'll threaten to expose that. He doesn't want that to happen, obviously, so he agrees to her terms. She wanted a raise, and she wanted his hours cut to hire other people. Effie needs some money for her tuition, and she needs some work. So Kane fronts her a brick. That's not enough for her. He offers to give her some money. She says, no, I'm not your charity, and I think he respected that. He goes behind her back and actually pays for it. And listen, I'm telling you right now, by the end of the season, Kane gonna wind up getting them buns. I'm telling you right now. Like, he gonna wind up hitting that. Him and Effie gonna be together because, Tariq is still head over heels for Lauren. Why? I don't know why. It's like, at this point, Tariq, you gotta let it go. And listen, you gotta realize Effie, it was fucked up. She went behind your back, but she did what she did to kind of, I guess, say you. She wanted you. If a bitch kill over you, she really like your ass. So at the end of the day, Tariq, you got to stop being a pussy, man. Had the best of both worlds. But, he has yet to tell anybody that Lauren's still alive, which is, that will be bad for anybody. But, we'll see. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So Monet goes to meet with old boy to talk some business. And the plot was to actually, I guess, set him up the whole time. And, you see he gets to drop on her because he see her pull out the knife. He's about to kill her. And I already spoke about this. Kane kills the guy. But she texts from his phone to another number. I think they know about, I think they know we killed Lorenzo. We got to meet up or some shit. And she says, I need you to find out who this number belongs to. So she tasks Drew with that. And as Drew's getting his back blown out, why they keep showing Drew sex scenes, man? We don't want to see this shit. We don't want to see this shit at all. Like, stop it. And how did a DEA agent let Tariq bribe him to get in the building? That shit is not real. That would not happen. They would arrest. I don't care what he was, a janitor, nothing. It's not happening. It's good TV, but that's some shit Ghost and Tommy would have did. I'm gonna tell you right then and there. He went when he met Lauren in the bathroom. But back to this. Drew's getting his back blown out. After getting his back blown out, he randomly decides to text a drug. I don't know why this is on his mind, but he texts and he sees the guy's phone rings or buzzes. And I don't know why this guy will have his burner phone on him anyway. Why does everybody have flip phones? Where's the smartphones? Like, I know you got burner phones for drugs, but why would you have that on you right now? Why would it be turned on? I mean, you're not doing it. Just didn't make sense. But anyway, he said, so once he saw him, he realized that, this was the guy who had killed his father. And I thought this was going to linger on a little bit. I thought Monet was going to get exposed, but she did it very good. She wouldn't get her hands dirty. And we see that Drew pops him in the shower, and he's donezo. I'm like, okay, yeah, get his ass out of here. Also, we see that Monet brings the head to the Russians to kind of dead the beef because she says, listen, he tried to play us against each other to get us out the competition. And, it is what it is. Upon the drug bust, I want to kind of get on that too with the Russians drug bust. Tate took the credit for that so he could get up and pose. Jenny Jenny is a fucking scumbag too. I don't know why Sachs keep trusting her. Like, she don't like you, dude. Like, and he just can't seem to understand it. She's using you, and he just keep going to her dusty ass. I don't know why. That pussy must be crazy. She gotta have that A1 fuego. Anyway, so they're back in the at their headquarters with the board, and they somehow figure out that they're moving something just randomly. Oh, they got to be moving stuff through Westing Holdings. I'm like, come on, really? Y'all just got that out of thin air? Oh, I've been on the place. I haven't seen any. So they had one of the agents pretend to be a bum, and Tariq looks right at him. He's not his dad, so he's still young. But they wind up finding the cup. So now they're gonna be in on that operation. And I'm like, okay, this is great. Diana, due to the cameras, they got her stashing at work. They also got Effie now on the camera because Effie spotted it and left. And at the end of the episode, they moving in the house, and they was just about to eat some good ass looking soul food too. I was like, damn, she couldn't even eat her dinner first. And they came in and they arrested Diana and carted her ass off to jail. So I'm like, damn, what the hell they about to get her on? Some work? Like that's a weak ass case. I don't know why they showing their hand now. If you're trying to get the whole family, get the whole fucking family. Like, why are you getting? It just don't make sense. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe they're trying to use this as a ploy for something. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, great episode. I thought it was pretty decent. Anything I left out, let's talk about it in the comments. I'm trying to think that I missed everything. Russians, blah, 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 I think I got everything. So if I didn't, like I said, post in the comments. We'll talk about it. Next episode 8, is normally like the best episode of the season besides 10. So let's see how they do. From the trailer, it looks pretty good. Post, comments, make sure you like, subscribe. Go to prayforbuffalo.com if you need merch. Peace.